Erin's pulling out a ukulele. She's about to sing a song.
Do you have a song? Are you going to sing us a song?
Erin, bring us in.
Let's do it.
She's gonna thank you.
Hey, girl, hey.
That's so cute.
I've been trying to find what could make you happy. I never could dream that it was just me. 'Cause there's gold in the line, just look and you'll find it. It's calling, just open your eyes, and you'll be alright.
Welcome to Hey Girl Hey, a podcast where we talk about literally anything. I'm Erin.
I'm Carrie.
I'm Elise.
And we're three sisters. Well, I think that was a little bit better than usual.
No.
No.
We're just
Okay.
lying to ourselves.
Yeah, I thought I was being positive.
You wish.
You're just
usually
like,
positive.
it's time change. I just need a win right now.
Oh my gosh, yes, I do. Just a win, please, guys.
How's your week been?
It's been crazy, but I can't complain too much. It's we had a big presentation at school, so
You say presentation?
yeah, we had a pitch for the summer we have what's called capstone.
She's
And I
making
had a
fun of the way
picture.
you pronounce it.
I want to hear about this, but I didn't know you said presentation, not presentation.
I say it's interchangeable, either, neither,
Okay.
neither.
Depends
Yeah.
on the mood.
But yeah, that was my week. How about you guys?
I was in Tallahassee and, well, it's Tallahassee, so you didn't do anything.
That's right.
I was just at work. That's it.
This is such an enthusiastic introduction. It's like everyone's
I
listening to
didn't
be
do
like, wow,
anything
guys.
interesting. None of us did it. Well, Carrie went to Tallahassee.
And went to Publix like 17 times.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the most interesting thing. But
That's about it. I mean, I'm really trying to think. What did I do in Tallahassee? I
Publix.
watched that show, Unbelievable, and stayed up till 6 a.m. watching it. So,
That's great.
had some cocktails, stayed up till 6 a.m.
That's hilarious.
Well, speaking of cocktails, actually, this week we want to introduce a new segment we're going to call Cocktail Hour. And it's really just us having a conversation with a guest and just enjoying whatever that conversation might be. And I think it broke up a little bit there, so I'm sorry.
You were just fine.
Oh, perfect. So our guest this week is the wonderful Bethany. Would you like to say hi?
Hello.
You want to? Pretty good. You want to tell us a little bit about yourself?
My name is Bethany, and I'm 30 years old, and I'm a cheeseaholic.
Hi, Bethany.
we're here for you.
Yeah. Thanks.
Bethany, I feel you. I am also a cheeseaholic.
Which is very bad since you're like extremely lactose intolerant.
Yeah.
I was just
Also-
trying to have sympathy. That's all. I wasn't going there. God.
I think we should change this week's topic to favorite
Cheese.
cheeses.
That is a whole episode right
We'll just
there.
list
Oh yes.
cheese.
Oh yes. Exactly.
Get heated. I'd be like, but I like brie. And you're like, but I like Swiss.
I love
don't know.
I don't
Oh.
discriminate, so
All cheeses are created equal except for blue cheese.
Oh, yeah.
Disgusting.
Have you seen that TikTok trend with people making that feta, like pasta?
oh my goodness. I wanna
Apparently, there was
try
a feta shortage. Oh my
Feta
goodness.
fetish.
A feta shortage from the feta fetish.
Feta from the
it.
what?
Yeah, no, everyone got really into like the whole TikTok trend with the feta, and stores were running out, and there was a big shortage for a while.
I know. I went to 3 stores to find a block of feta for a non-feta pasta dish, but I couldn't
Why
find
would you want feta for a non-feta pasta dish?
because I wasn't making pasta. So I'm saying, oops, that came out
like
wrong.
non-pasta feta
Non-
dish?
Chickpea salad.
Yes,
Non-feta.
actually.
non-feta.
See, it's hard to say.
Oh my
You
goodness.
still haven't had your coffee.
Well, thank you,
Yeah.
thank you, Bethany, for joining us today.
Yes,
We're really excited to
thank
have you.
you so
A fun fact: Bethany
Wait.
is our sister-in-law.
I was gonna say, I was like, who is Bethany?
Such a smooth transition. Who is Bethany?
I'm really good at it. I watched a lot of Dora and Dragon Tales, so I'm ready.
You just talk to the camera.
Yeah.
Where is Bethany?
Where?
Do you see her?
Nope. Oh, we were really excited to have you here today. Thank you again. And I have to say, I'm sorry I'm late again. I feel so bad right now.
No.
Yeah, we thought the
but
time change got you.
it kind of
Got all
did.
this.
Last I looked, I thought it was this time, so I was like laying there. I'm like, do, and then I'm like, look at the clock, and I'm like, oh my gosh, Carrie's calling me.
We're like, is she alive or?
Oh yeah, I was
Maybe she doesn't have a time change in her area.
Yeah, I don't know how it works out there.
Some
In the
states
north.
don't have it, right?
It's like Indiana, I want to say.
Yeah.
Really?
Some random one.
And the only reason I'm
should all
thinking
get
that
rid of it.
is because Gary, you guys are so much younger than me. Did you watch? Oh my gosh, Erie, Indiana.
Oh, I think I watched like 2 episodes with you.
Oh yeah, like a
Your
few years
house.
ago.
Yeah.
Okay, so Erie, Indiana was one of my favorite shows back, in the 90s. And it's about a guy who moved to this town in Indiana, and one of the episodes is he refused to follow the town and not change his watch back. So he did it and ended up in this alternate dimension. And
I
that
just
is how
remember the
that-
Tupperware episode.
Yes. Anyway, that I can get. We have to have an episode on this, but
What was that
Episode
show?
at Erie, Indiana.
About the newspaper that came in a
early edition.
yeah. Okay, I thought that's what you were talking about when he got
Yes,
the
such a good
tomorrow's
show, right?
newspaper today.
No, that's such a good show.
Such good
Oh,
fun.
I wish there was someplace to watch. I haven't seen it on any like streaming.
Yeah, that's Sean.
Sean got
Sean
the-
knows where
the
everything is.
nose.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So this week we wanted to talk about things that we're into, right? Your top 3 favorite things.
Yeah, things that make us happy, things that we like.
So yeah, Bethany, what's one of yours?
So I love the beach.
Oh yes.
But more importantly than a day at the beach is the night after the beach.
Mm.
Night beach.
And if you have like a condo and you got a balcony and you can sit there, listen to the waves,
Mhm.
you have sun-kissed skin,
And the smell.
you're drinking a margarita.
Oh
you're
my
about to
gosh.
eat fish tacos.
So let's go to the
yes.
beach, guys.
So,
ladies,
yeah.
ladies.
Keep setting this.
Let's go to the beach.
This is turning into Bethany's ASMR. It's turning into
Yeah, I'm
the perfect day.
Wherever you're taking us.
I'm all for this. This is fantastic.
Yes.
Ooh.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah,
there's
you
nothing-
haven't been to the beach since last year when you came down here, Aaron.
Oh my gosh. That's the last time you went to the beach?
The last time you went to the beach, the real beach.
I know. Well, I mean, yeah.
The
And
real
then
beach.
They have a fake beach up
I
there,
know.
but
I
There's
can't
something
say it out loud,
better
but I'm
than,
shaking
like-
my head yes.
it's a fake beach.
a post beach nap.
Mm-hmm.
Mm. There's
You,
nothing
like,
better
pass
than
out
a
on the
beach nap
couch.
too. Like when you're at the beach and then you're like late, you're reading a book or whatever, and the waves are crashing and you pass out
Yes.
on the beach, and you might wake up a lot tanner than you expected, but it's so
Or
worth
redder.
it.
Yeah, always.
Or redder.
Oh,
That's
redder,
true.
yes.
I'm sorry. I should not discriminate against those who burn badly.
Yeah, I always have to turn like a rotisserie chicken at the beach. Because I'm like, this side's getting a little darker. Let me flip over.
I look a little burnt today.
Yeah, I'm just slowly turning.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's
Just
so good.
imagining you just like, well, this side's done.
Yep.
Flip.
All
Yeah.
cooked.
But it's so hard. You can't do it just right because you can't get the sides, you know?
Yeah, because the
Mhm.
sun's on one
Like,
side. So
yeah.
it's like, well, this side's just, it's going to be tanner than this side. Unless I face like parking instead of facing the beach. Which, who wants to do that?
No, exactly.
I have these really cute bottoms that have like crisscrosses on the hips. And then I got tan. And now I have crisscross tans on my hip. Have you done that when you buy a super cute bathing suit and then you realize you just get the worst tan lines?
Yeah, I've had one that like just has a hole in the back. And so I just tan in that little hole.
Oh, that's hilarious. See, I have
Well,
a
mine
habit.
right now is just like I have like a little sliver. And that's all that
Oh.
gets tan on my belly.
Just in the belly.
That's all that's showing.
Oh, because you have
That's
those
great.
like high-waisted bottoms?
Yeah.
Oh, I love high-waisted bottoms. That's a bit on my list. High-waisted
High-waist-
bottoms.
Everything high waisted.
No, I really do. Like, I had to buy some pants, and like my criteria was like they cannot be low rise, they cannot be mid rise. These must be high rise. It's my new criteria for pants right now.
I only buy pants that are high waisted.
If you go to American Eagle, they have super high waisted, and that's my jam.
Comes right up to under your boobs,
Exactly.
as pants should.
Hey, you know what?
Pants should just actually go above the boobs, and then you just wear.
Yeah, you just put a belt
Outfits.
on, and it's a jumpsuit.
Oh, no. Oh man, that's great. All
I
right.
have a full jean bodysuit.
Oh yeah.
What? That's
What?
amazing. I bet it looks incredible
have yet
too.
to wear it anywhere. I'm pretty sure the tag is still on it.
I need.
I was gonna say I
yes.
remember you buying it, but I've never seen you wear it.
Yeah.
I bet that is so
Wait, you gotta wear that
cute.
soon.
You
before it gets
gotta
too
wear
hot?
that.
Yeah,
I
it's
don't
getting
know.
hot.
I don't know if I can pull it off.
Oh,
I
I'm
think
sure
so.
you can.
I think so.
Didn't Kyle tell you to buy it because he said you could
Yes.
pull it off?
Yes, he did.
Sure, and he doesn't lie to you. He'll let you know if something doesn't look good.
Yeah, he told you your hair looked crazy this morning.
He is very honest with me. Yes.
I love
Which
the way
I
you
think
be
your hair
like,
looks great.
I think it does
For the
too.
record.
I think you're very strong because I would just be like,
I would kill him.
"What'd you say?"
I don't know how you live with him.
There's
Okay.
I mean,
What
I'm
do we
glad because you're our sister now, but also you're a saint.
You
so
know, I'm
yeah.
blessed. So.
You're like
It's okay.
I'm
You're like,
blessed,
he-
and then you guys can't see
he's
it, but she's
appreciative.
mouthing "help me" right now.
Save me.
Blink twice if you need us to help you.
Oh, I don't know what that means. That's
She's
a lot of blinks.
it's Morse code for "I do, but don't say anything on the podcast."
Call the cops, please.
Oh, that's great.
Is-
Sorry.
I saw this lady at Target and she had this poofy denim dress and it had all these layers and these poofy sleeves and it kind of was just like it was like mid-thigh, so it's kind of a shorter dress. And it was both the strangest dress I've ever seen, but she looked incredible and adorable with it. She had these bright red Vans on, and I was like, I don't know who you are, but I love everything about you.
You have told her that you like her sleeves.
I would have. Normally, I don't care if it seems kind of weird. If I like your outfit, I will say something. We had to stop to get coffee when we were driving back from Tallahassee, and the barista making my coffee, she had bright pink hair and blonde hair, and she was wearing one of those like dicky jumpsuits that mechanics wear,
Oh, that's
and these long like almond shaped nails, and I was like, I love you.
That's
She was so cool.
great. I was super into those sticky jumpsuits back in like, I don't know, 2003 or 2004. I never got
they're
one,
back.
Yeah,
but I'd see them and I go, I gotta wear this. But then
I saw
I didn't
her
have
and
the
I was like, I'm gonna
confidence
buy
for
one.
it.
this week I'm getting one. I
They
have
used to
to.
sell them at Walmart for like so cheap.
Yeah, they're probably expensive now if they're in.
Yeah, like
they're gonna be
$40.
like $40-$50.
Okay. So Carrie, let's move on to you. What is one of your things on your list today?
There's a couple things I really like, but I think I'm gonna start with. So I love untranslatable words or words that are difficult to translate, and they make me happy. I wish like we had these words in our language and like in English, but then I also kind of wonder like what words in English aren't translatable in other languages. So I tried to pick words that I felt we could all relate to. So I just realized I said that when I said the bad direction one first. But the rest of these words I picked because I thought, we could all relate to it. There's this one word, I believe it's pronounced something around the lines of Fernweh. It's a German word. It's also the name of my island in Animal Crossing.
I was
And-
wondering where that came from.
Yeah, it's like this untranslatable German word, and it kind of means like far sickness or wanderlust. It's the like desire to leave your home and everything you know just to go travel the world and enjoy just being out in the world. And it comes from like the word far and way, which means woe or misery. So like being sad that you aren't in all the places you want to be.
Sounds like you translated that pretty
Like
well.
a long, yeah,
Well, it's like,
untranslatable.
okay,
sure.
untranslatable means there's not one word that encompasses this one word.
Excuses.
Yes.
You
know what?
translated
I feel
it.
like
You
I've
should
been
be
lied to.
famous.
Holes in everything I have.
No, I think it's that's a really good word. Sorry, Lisa, I didn't mean to cut you off.
I don't even know what I said.
Oh dang!
How dare you?
I gotta stop being so polite. I just gotta I barreled over you.
Yeah, just say what you want to say.
Guys, I got so many words, so just tell me
Oh,
when
God.
to stop.
How many?
Too many.
I know at least.
Well,
10
let's
words.
see what let's see
Bring
what's on Lisa's
something
list,
else.
and then we can come back.
Well, I was gonna say,
Oh, yeah, say
my
it.
doormat says hygge, which is a Danish word that there's not like a word in English that is equal to it. It means like a quality of coziness and like a feeling of contentment, and like you want your home to kind of have hygge. So it's
I love that.
HYGGE.
That's not how I spelled it when I wrote it down.
I know, but when you look it up, it's got like HOO dash like g.
Oh, that's a
Because every
really
time I
cool
come
word.
over, I've looked at that and I'm like, Higi. I not gonna lie. For a second, I was like, is this like an IKEA mat that has just like a word on it?
Yes, it's an IKEA mat, and it has a word on it.
But I didn't know that word had like a meaning.
Yes.
I thought it was just like, one of the names they give things.
Those are real words.
So I'm really glad to know that there's a cozy, beautiful meaning behind it.
Yes.
One of my favorite welcome mats I've seen is your neighbor's, Carrie, who literally says in brackets, custom message here.
It's so good.
like it was one of those custom mats, and they're like perfect.
It's so
Don't
good.
need to change a thing.
Oh
That's
my
hilarious.
gosh.
That's so good.
I didn't mean to call it an IKEA mat. I meant that I didn't understand it, and I'm glad I do now.
No.
Take that
You know,
hole deeper.
It also, because I come from Danish heritage. I don't know what part I am Danish, but it's cool to be able to have that kind of
Oh yeah, that's it's really cool because you find it, you like it, and you're like, oh wait, this is part of my heritage too. So you get to incorporate it into your home. That's a really cool thing.
Yeah.
Is it like, does your aunt I don't know, I'm just trying to understand, because I know that your grandfather still lives in Copenhagen, right?
Yeah.
So do any of your relatives, your aunts, speak another language?
Yeah. So my grandma is also Danish, and so she lived in Denmark, and she immigrated to California, and so she speaks Danish, and so does my aunt. So, and my mom knew some too, but she kind of lost it after learning Italian. So
Yeah, there's only so many languages you can fit in your
I
head.
know
Oh,
you
yeah.
only can remember so many things. So
That's really cool. She was first generation. She's
Yeah.
first generation. That's really cool. You don't really meet that's not something super common thing anymore.
yeah.
Okay, and then all those people who've immigrated are gonna be like, that's not true.
Like, wait a second.
No, actually, it's really
Actually?
I'm like, yeah, you're probably right. Sorry about that, guys.
If we just say stuff like it's a fact, then people won't question us.
Yeah,
So just
exactly.
you have to be confident in it, Aaron.
That's pretty
Okay.
much
Fact.
how I live my
That's
life.
how the internet
I'm
works.
confident. Yes. As again,
People
don't
just be
at
saying
me.
things.
I have read those summer posts before where someone just says things as facts, like this bird came from this, I don't know. And you're like, oh, that makes sense. And then isn't into multiple facts in, and you're like, wait a second.
Yeah.
And you realize they just made it all up and you believe them.
I just love the ones that are obviously false. Like I saw one when someone was like, yeah, they call it hitting your funny bone because you hit your humerus. And I'm like, actually, your elbow's not your humerus. And if you just look that up for 2 seconds, you'd know.
So it's the medical ones that make you angry.
Yes,
Elise.
because they're always so obviously wrong.
Oh,
You're all no,
I almost said,
by the
oh,
way.
can't do that. Nope. Oh, that's funny. What's on your list, Elise?
Well, mine I feel like are really generic, but which one should I start with? I guess the first one, I don't know, I just like nature, just like being outside and just it doesn't matter what, just like going to the farmer's market or going to the beach or going on a walk or something. Like later they were going to the park for a cookout, and I just love that kind of stuff, just being outside, and I love like camping too. We haven't
Oh,
gone
yeah.
camping in so long. But also people are like, oh, it's like you're an outdoorsy person, but like I also still want a toilet. So
Yes, exactly.
not that outdoorsy.
That is a
You want to
key
go
thing.
glamping?
But I feel like that's probably why I gotten really into the plant thing. Because it started with just one succulent, and then I was like, well, it needs a friend, and they need a friend, and then it's just like, well, let's just bring outside inside.
Exactly.
Now my whole dresser is full of plants. Mom's like, you have like a whole, what did she call it? I don't remember what she called it, but she's like, you're not gonna have any room, and I was like, I don't see that as a problem.
You're like, I live
Like,
among my friends.
It's fine.
They all have names and they have different personalities.
Yeah, and I get so excited when I see that they've gotten bigger. I'm like, oh my gosh, doing something right.
I always go, way to go, Josephine, or whatever the name of plant is. And I'm like, you're doing it. Good
Yeah,
job.
I always forget though, because I've got, at this point, I can't remember what I've named some of them. So they're just little planties, and I'll just give them nicknames randomly. I decided to start calling my snake plant Medusa because I can remember that.
That's a good one. That's good. My snake plant's named Sylvia.
Little
Yeah, that's
planties.
cute too, though.
So-
Sometimes I like to play the music. I'm like, oh, you guys seem like you need to listen to some music. So I'll put like Sleeping at Last or something on for them.
Oh, you're a better plant owner parent than I am.
Well, I mean, I remember seeing when I was little. I don't know if it's true, but like people saying, "Oh, you know, the science experiments where you play music for your plants, and then like classical music makes them grow better than rock music or whatever." So I'm like, let me play them some Sleeping at Last.
Perfect. Perfect.
And I find it so cute when you see that they're like stretching towards the window, and it's like,
Mhm.
"Oh, you want the sun?" And then I
Yeah,
turn
you're
them.
holding them captive.
I know, but they die if they were outside too, because they drown.
So you're just like Tangled. What's her name? Rapunzel's mom. No, I'm keeping you safe in
Yeah.
here.
This is for your
You
own
can't go
good.
out there.
Except for now I have one that like I took lemon seeds and just planted them, and I was like, maybe they'll grow. And I have like 7 little sprouts now. They're getting like big. Like they're like this big now. And I'm like, what do I do when they like start actually turning into trees? Because it's just in a little old candle thing. So I'm like,
Yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
what to do when this gets to a point where it doesn't fit in here. But I'll figure that out eventually.
You have some time. You have some time.
Also outside, so for Halloween we got 2 giant pumpkins, and after our Halloween party we put them outside we have like a brick planter in the front of the house, so we put it there, and everything we put in there dies
Mhm.
except for the bee balm. The bee balm survived a little bit, but one of the pumpkins just like exploded and the seeds went everywhere, and all of a sudden they just started sprouting. So we have like a little pumpkin patch growing in the front yard, and we're like, see what happens.
That's so
Just
cool.
letting it grow and see if it'll stay alive.
That's fantastic. It's funny you mentioned plants because on my list was plants.
Oh, well then we can both talk about it.
Too. I had to go out and buy a shelving unit to put my plants on.
So you know
So-
you're serious.
I have a big, like, we got it at Sam's, so it's a big like 4-tier like garage shelving unit thing. But I only have 3 things in there. So like the top 2 tiers are completely full of like succulents and things like that, and the bottom one has a big wooden box that I have a potato and some onions in right now.
Oh, that's
So
cool.
And then that unit has its own. So like the top one we have UV lights because it was winter here, so it was really dark and stuff above it. And then in the next unit, we have them tied in. So each unit has their own light sources.
Wow.
That is.
She's going like
And then I
full
have
Impressive.
botanist on this.
Yeah, I want to eventually get it. So I want to get a glass enclosure so I can start growing like lettuce and things like that inside of an apartment. So,
That'd be so cool.
because I have actually 2 more light sets because I had this one and this is what happened. It's funny. So static electricity is a thing in Michigan and it's bad. I had no idea. And one day I apparently had a big charge and I accidentally touched my lights. And I had this like 3 light head like lamp that was UV lamp that you could individually move the little top heads things, and I broke one of them. Now it's constantly on when it's plugged in just from when I touched it. The static electricity was so strong that it shorted the circuit, and now that light, as soon as you plug it in, comes right on. Can't turn it off.
So you discovered you have a
Science.
superpower.
You discovered electricity.
You
I'm
are
static shock.
Oh, also, I saw your face, Carrie, when Erin said that. When she was like, yeah, because up here, static electricity is really bad. I didn't know.
Yeah.
What
You
would,
went full Michigan on us.
She went full Michigan.
Oh,
what would
God,
your
no.
superhero name be if you had electricity powers?
Oh my
Yes.
gosh.
Good
Oh, that's a
question.
really good question. I'm really bad at naming things, so probably really stupid, like lightninging or like static girl or something like.
Static
It
Not
was-
like shockwave.
no. See, I told you I'm really bad at
Yeah,
naming
that was
things.
really good, Carrie.
That's such a
fast.
good one. Mine would be so stupid because I would just be like, I would be
Sparky.
Spark. No, not even
That'd be my
that good.
sidekick.
Just be like, I have electricity in my finger. Like that would be my whole name. My
That'd be your
www.
tagline.
Exactly.
You'd be like, I
Electricity.
have electricity in my finger.
You're like
I'd
Dr.
be like,
Horrible.
no one call that superhero. No one call her.
You ever like Dr. Horrible and he's like, I have a PhD in horribleness.
Horribleness.
No,
Exactly.
not quite.
I'd be the squirrel girl or whatever universe I was living in because I would be the most klutzy, unprepared, to try to do too many things superhero
Wouldn't
ever.
be moist.
Ugh. Oh, I hate that word. Thanks.
You're welcome.
I just
Well, I want. Oh, sorry.
oh no, I was just as we were talking about plants, Bethany, kind of just staring off, going, we're just trying to keep succulents alive.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
I was-
you're doing much better than me, though, Carrie, because I have one plant, and I have successfully kept it alive for, I think, well, it's been a couple months, actually.
Congratulations.
Time to
That's
get a
big-
second
that's
plant.
huge.
I
Graduate.
think, yeah, that was my test, is if I can keep this one alive, then I can graduate and buy more.
That's what I
guess we
did.
have to
so.
go plant shopping.
Sounds like we're going to the farmer's market next weekend.
no.
You gotta go to the farmer's market next week.
You guys need to go to IKEA. I'm not
Okay.
even joking. IKEA's plant selection it just blew me away. I got a palm for $15. That's
Oh my
not
God.
doing so well right now because of the cold. It kind of got a little bit cold. But I
The
still
cold.
have one. I have a really beautiful palm in my living room right now. And I got
I
it
have a
at
little parlor
$14.99. Little parlor palm. It's the Majesty palm. I got a Majesty
Wow.
palm. Sorry, that was really loud.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I was
You-
gonna say I want to have like edible food, like plant stuff, but all I have is one mint, and I'm fostering Carrie's mint still because
Oh,
she has not picked up her child. I'm gonna start charging her
It's
because
Very temperamental plant.
yeah. But it's still alive because
sure
I
it's still
don't want
better
to
with
be.
you.
I don't want to have custody of your mint when it dies.
Mm.
So
Are you telling me to die?
I'm in that
it's
situation
not
right now.
dying, but in case it does die, I want it to be in your custody when that happens.
Mhm.
But
I-
it looks great right now. You're welcome.
You're welcome. I'm having that same thing. I'm watching my sister-in-law's plants, and one of her plants is not doing so hot right now, and I don't know what to do. It's just slowly dying,
You
and
gotta go goldfish on it. Just buy a new one that looks exactly like it.
I can't.
go.
I don't even know what it is.
Your
That's the
plant,
thing. That's
You
the
have these.
your
I
plant
have
was
but
a
alive.
farm.
I have so many succulents, guys. Like I have like almost 50 succulents, right? And half of them I just go to the store and I think, oh, these are pretty. So I get one and then
Who
I come
buys
home
so
and go, okay, so there's a grocery store here that has a nursery. And before you can get into the grocery store, you walk through the nursery. And the first section you see is the succulent section, which, by the way, is only $2.99.
Mm.
And when you have
So multiply
$2.99
that by
succulent,
50. And
over the last 8 months, okay, 8 months. I started getting plants in August when Elise was here.
I'm
Thanks,
curious about
Elise.
that, actually. You're welcome.
Most
You're
of
the one
them-
who was like, I want a snake plant. Go to the plant store with me. I'm like, okay, let's go. And then you just never stop.
I have so many plants. So yeah,
You have
That's my story.
$150 worth of succulents, roughly.
That's not bad though. I mean, since August to now, like
Yeah, that's not bad.
that's not bad. I don't have clothes, but I have
You have
succulents.
succulents.
who needs
Priorities.
clothes when you have succulents?
It's gonna
You
become
know
a
that
point.
there's like an app where you can like, I think you can take a picture of the plant and it tells you like what it is and how to take care of it. And like it gives you reminders on like when to water, when to like give it sun.
No,
I was
I
gonna
need
get that, but
Yeah.
then you have to pay for a subscription.
No, stupid.
Yeah, there's one that I found that was free, but it wasn't very accurate because I would take pictures of the same plant at different angles and it would tell me it's different plants.
Oh
So I
no.
was like, maybe not.
I don't know. I
Stupid
might be
thing
willing.
through.
I might be willing to pay if it's not too bad because I
If I
don't
had as
know
many
half of them
plants
are.
as you, I'd probably
Yeah.
pay for it.
Yeah.
But I have like 4 and they all need to be watered maybe once a week. So
Yeah, I
that's
just
my
kinda let
mint
'em
that
go.
Elise has, but that's her problem right now.
I water mine when I remember to water it. So
Same.
it's when I walk by and I'm like,
Oh
it's been
yeah.
a little while. Maybe I should. And I
Well,
touch
that's the nice thing
soil.
about succulents. Because when I just had succulents, I would forget for like a week or two, and I'd be like, "Oh, here's some water," and it was good. But now that I have other non-succulent plants, I have to like be on top of it.
Yeah.
Because I have a little button fern, and I didn't water it for like 2 days, and I looked at it, and it's all like shriveled up. I'm like, "Are you serious?" I watered it. I came back 10 minutes later, and it looked fine.
That's
I was like, "You
crazy.
drama queen."
Plants are drama queens, guys. It's not. Oh, my, my. I have these what are they called? Little bear paw succulents. And if you haven't seen a bear paw succulent, look it up and then go searching for one to buy because they are the fuzziest, cutest little things ever. They look like little paws, right? And they're really thick boys and they're super cute and like they're all fluffy.
Little chunky boys.
They're all chunks. Like, they're just so cute. And they, at the first couple weeks I had them, I was like, they're going to die because everything I did was wrong. And now I just don't do anything and they're fine. Like literally, I water them whenever I feel like it.
Life hack when you have succulents. If a leaf falls off and you want more succulents, just plant that leaf and chances are it'll sprout. If it doesn't, another leaf will fall off and you could plant it and just keep going until one sprouts. I have like 4 different succulents that I did with that, like that. Because like a leaf would fall off or the top would fall off and I'm like, nope, just plant it and now I have another one.
Yeah.
Dang.
I approach plants as in, no, I hope this works.
We were at the farmer's market and there were all these succulents and Carrie and I were buying different plants, but I grabbed the leaves that had fallen off and I was like, Carrie, I told you and you forgot.
You stole.
I was like, Carrie, I took them. I told you like later on that day and you were like,
Yeah, same
stole them?
reaction. You stole.
That's how it works. So it helps. I mean, I can't say I've never walked to the store and seen little cutlings on the ground and not picking them. I mean, they're gonna just sweep them
They're
up and
gonna
throw them away.
Yeah.
I might as well kill them off in my own apartment.
Exactly.
You might as well prolong the death.
Prolong the death. Oh man. So Bethany, what's your second one?
So my second one is traveling.
Oh yeah.
Traveling makes me happy.
Oh.
Yeah.
You've gotten to go on
Yes.
some
And-
really amazing adventures.
Yes. I think I tried to like total up how many countries I visited over my lifetime. It was a lot. Let me see.
You say that like you're sad.
It was a lot.
14.
Ooh.
Wow.
Oh my
14.
gosh.
Okay. Top 3, if you
Top
can.
3. See, that's really hard though because every place is so different and
True. We'll give you like the best memories or most magical moments?
Okay. So, well, I went to Jordan last year, and that was amazing. Just getting to see the city, but also like meeting the people there. So I never really met many like Middle Eastern people. And so it was really cool to like hear about their culture and just become friends with them and realize how much you actually have in common.
That's so cool. This is the fatty in me. How is the food? Because I imagine the food being
Oh
there
my god!
amazing.
So that was going to be my next point about Jordan. Okay, best food ever. We went to this little street place, like a little restaurant. You sit literally at this like plastic table, plastic chairs. They come with like a trash bag, sort of tablecloth, and they bring out pitas and the best hummus you've ever had in your entire life.
Oh my gosh.
It was amazing. And then French fries and some sort of like, I don't even know, dip. I don't know. It was just so good. Like
it doesn't matter. It was amazing.
Eat it again right now.
Oh, that sounds so good.
Yeah.
Oh, I love Middle Eastern food. I don't feel like we get enough here in the States. It's not like
gosh,
it's not an easy thing to find.
No. I tried looking too. I was like, oh, Orlando is very diverse in like our, what food we have, but there's not many options.
I think I have a small list. When I was at UCF and we did our global hours, like we had to do conversation hours, it always came in waves of like you have a bunch of students from China, you have a bunch of students from the Middle East. And when we had students from the Middle East, it was a Liberty Day, I think, in the UAE. So we celebrated. And I had a couple of students like write down like, what are some restaurants here in Orlando that is similar to like what you love back home? So they wrote a bunch of places down. So I'll have to see if I can find it.
That's so cool. Please. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it was so good. That food was amazing. And there's all this dancing and everyone was so happy and the music.
I'm going to ask the question no one should ask it. What's your least favorite country you've been to? No, I'm really joking.
Oh, wow.
I don't want to put anyone on blast here, but
USA.
Oh, I think you're
the only one I've been to, so
I feel like you're the type of traveler when you do go to another country, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like you're not afraid to throw yourself into it. You're like, okay, if I get kind of embarrassed here, oh well, just moving on.
Yeah. I feel like I can kind of just jump in and I don't know. It's funny because like when people, talk about going to the Middle East, they might be a little bit scared. And I was just like, no, I hope I'll be fine. Like, I don't want to like, offend. And so I like asked ahead of time, like, what do I need to do? Like anything special, any kind of culture things I need to know. And so, yeah. But yeah, I always want to kind of dive in and learn more, kind of feel like a local wherever I go.
Yeah.
I think that gives you the best experience.
Yes, exactly.
You're not what I would call a McDonald's traveler. And those people who, whenever they go to a new country, they only go to McDonald's. And I know people like that. And I'm like, why are you there if you're not going to experience everything you can?
Yeah, I don't know. Being picky eaters, like, it's sad to me. I'm like, you're missing out on so much stuff because you're scared to try new things.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. I was a poor college student at one point, and we could not afford going to the local places. So we literally ate at our hostel in the morning, and then we would go to Subway, and that was our only meal out.
No.
Every day that we were in London.
No.
No. We went somewhere else. Oh, we went to Hard Rock. Oh, because that's, really.
Yeah.
That's really European.
Yeah.
So.
But that is a good like little trick though. Like if you don't have the money to go out and eat, it's different than just like, oh, I'm not going to eat there. You're like, no, I still want to go. Yeah. I can still get there. Here's my place I'm staying feeds me at least breakfast, continental breakfast or something. Maybe grab a couple extra things.
It was literally like cereal and toast.
Oh
Yeah.
god.
If you can't afford like nicer restaurants and you do go to McDonald's, just get the, you know how every country has like
yeah.
their special menu? That's what you got to do.
Yeah.
Like Japan has that ninja burger.
Yeah, I
Or it
think
has, like,
that's Burger King, right?
Oh, is it Burger King?
I think
When it has
so.
like the black bun. I don't
Yeah.
know
Yeah.
if I think it's like squid
And-
ink or charcoal or both. I don't know.
And it has like spam on it or something.
Yeah.
Spam.
We learned this from GMM.
Yes. Or
Wow, that's
the
not
chocolate
untrue.
fries that they have in McDonald's. I think it's either Korea or Japan, and I think it's Japan, where they put like chocolate sauce on the fries.
I was in Hawaii once,
food.
and
No.
they. Well, we're talking about
No.
so I went to McDonald's, and they had a burger that had pineapple and spam on it. I just remember vividly. I ordered it without the spam because I was afraid to try it because I am a picky eater, and especially at the time it was even worse. Now I'm a lot more adventurous. But I remember just getting a burger with pineapple and thinking it was the craziest thing. But it's really interesting though how even though Hawaii is still part of the States, it has totally different food than like what we get in the 48.
Yeah, it's a
Mhm.
different culture, which is awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool.
You're like
Now I wanted to
pineapple
try one.
burger. This is wild.
For
They're
me,
crazy
okay,
over
at
here.
15 years old, that was crazy, okay? Like, if I went there now, I'd be like, oh, okay, yeah, but I was 15, guys, all right?
I
First
She
think
was
time away
young
from
and
home.
impressionable.
I was.
one of the most adventurous things I've eaten abroad was a ostrich burger.
What?
Yeah.
How
Huh.
was that?
How'd they catch the ostrich?
It was actually pretty good. I don't know where they caught it. That's actually a very good question.
They're violent.
That's a very good question. Probably came from a farm, I'm assuming.
Hey, Wile E.
No.
Coyote, the ostrich.
They did. How did they catch? Sorry, that killed me.
Where was that ostrich burger?
It was in Cambridge in the UK.
Not
Mm.
where I expected you to say.
Yeah.
I thought you were
Yeah.
going to say, oh, we had it in like when I was in Cairo or
No.
Amsterdam or something.
It was like a little street vendor, and we walked by, and I was like, "That smells so good." I'm like, "What is that?" So we walked up, and it said ostrich burger, and I was like,
all right, I'll try it.
"Let's try it. Let's go." So
Would you eat it again?
yeah, for sure.
That's awesome.
I'm a Floridian, so the craziest thing I've ever eaten is alligator.
Mm.
Gator tacos.
I have. This is gonna. I was in Mongolia. This is okay there. I ate horse. I tried horse.
How was it?
Salty and tasted kind of like beef, and then I got really sad when I thought about it, and then I became a vegetarian.
She tried to become a vegetarian.
Hey, 7 years, man. And then I
Of
found
course.
bacon. But yeah.
Vegetarian bacon is good though.
Oh, it is.
If you get the
good
right
stuff.
brand.
No, sorry, but yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, the foods that you can eat abroad that you cannot eat here or wouldn't.
My favorite food adventure, like overseas, was in Italy when Bethany, your brother, was like, "Oh, do you want to get pizza tonight?" I said, "Yeah, sounds great." He's like, "I'll order you something, just trust me." I'm like, "Okay, cool." And he orders me the American pizza.
Oh, God.
And I was like, sure, I'll try it. I don't know what it is. And it comes, he like gets to the door and he's like, you're going to love it. Like, this is an American style pizza. And it was my first week there. And he's like, I wanted to get you something that would remind you of home so you don't get homesick. And it was from like the absolute love of his heart. He was being genuine. And I opened this pizza and it had French fries and hot dogs on, like sliced hot dogs on top of it. And I'm just like, what is this? He's like, it's American pizza. I'm like, this is not what we eat in America.
Every time I order pizza, I get hot dogs and French fries on it.
It was like floppy, not even like salty French fries on top.
Ooh.
You know what though? I almost feel like if there were crunchy fries, it'd be pretty good. Barbecue
Hey,
sauce.
We do have macaroni and cheese pizza, so it's not that far off.
I've never had that though.
I've never had it either. I've just seen it.
I did hear that Aldi has a dill pickle pizza. and I'm very interested.
Okay, I will
I-
try that.
I don't
Odd.
like chips. Like, I'm just not a potato chip person. But when I was with Carissa this last week, she got dill pickle chips, and I ate like that whole bag.
They're
it was so
so
good.
good. Like every now and then, if I'm not feeling like I don't know, I want something. I'm like, Bill, I just want. He goes pickle chips. I'm like, yes, they're just so
Pickles.
good.
They're so good.
They're like they're like a little bit of dill, salt, and vinegar chips, and they're not as
Mm,
greasy.
I introduced Elise to them actually when we went to the beach.
Yep.
They said you got to eat pickle chips on the beach. That's just
Oh
Oh,
my gosh, that
good.
sounds so good.
oh, a White Claw and some pickle chips.
Yep,
exactly.
that's what we did.
That's exactly what we did.
And a pub sub.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
It was
pub
perfect.
subs are
Yeah.
magical at the beach.
Perfect for the beach. Like
Ugh.
you can't go to the beach and not crave a pub sub.
So many
No.
years.
You
I
gotta
miss
come
pub subs.
down, Aaron.
Okay, so this is what I like to do when I go to the beach. I like to have, well, now I'm going to add pickle chips to it because that sounds amazing. But I like to have peanut butter sandwiches with blueberries.
Oh,
Oh
me
yes,
too.
that was like
Those are so good.
our poor food. We were just
Mhm.
like, well, we got blueberries and peanut
Like, we
butter,
don't have bananas,
And we didn't-
but we have blueberries.
and we expected it to be nasty, and it is so good.
So you just put the whole blueberries right on that sandwich, and then you have peanut butter blueberry sandwich while you're sitting on the beach. And especially if you have cold blueberries, like it's so it sounds terrible. It's
Bethany, you
really,
look
really
concerned.
good.
It's so good.
I'm intrigued.
Because the blueberries, like, it's like having peanut butter and jelly,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
you just have whole blueberries on it. But we are also the family that grew up eating peanut butter bacon sandwiches.
I have gotten some people to
Which
like
are
want to
good.
try it.
They're good because it's
When
a
you
little bit
have-
sweet, a little bit salty and crunchy.
When you have 10
It's
people,
good.
and
Okay,
you don't
next
want to
episode.
cook, you just put some peanut butter and bacon on a sandwich.
Hey, that's what she grew up with. I'm gonna say we're gonna have to do a whole like weird foods that we eat that we think are normal, and we're gonna have you come back on Bethany so we can talk about this.
Yes.
All right. Hey, Elise, what's your number 2? Haha, I skipped you, Carrie.
Number
you.
2, I picked like, okay, all of mine are kind of obvious, but I picked like reading / just like, I love when you have a story, because I like watching TV and watching movies and stuff too, but I feel like it's different when you have a really good book and you get like transported to whatever world, and like I block out everything else. Like when you
Yeah.
know it's a good book, when you look up from it and you're like jarred for a second because you're like, oh, like I'm not, because you're so immersed in the story, you're like, oh, I'm just in my living room.
Mm-hmm.
But that's one of my favorite feelings, when you just have a book and you're just like not paying attention to anything else, just turning pages, and you're just like in the story. So
That
that's
is
what
a
I-
really good one. That's
I
how I,
went
feel.
to
Go ahead. Sorry.
no, what were you saying?
So that's how I feel when I'm reading a really good script, because recently I've really gotten into script reading because it's a big part of my school, but I kind of want to do it on my own. And I get into these scripts and because it's a story. And the next thing you know, you're like, oh my gosh, like this is incredible. And then you go, oh wow, it's over. This was, like I can't believe I saw everything. You're in that world and you're picturing it. So I get that.
And when it's over, you're just like, I miss them.
Yeah.
I miss the characters. I miss the world. But yeah, a few days ago, I went to Bright Light. I haven't been to Bright Light in years. And I was like, I'm done with nursing school. Like, I'm still in school, but like, it's not the same. So I'm like, I have time to actually read for fun again. So I went to Bright Light, and I spent a lot of time there and a lot of money there. And they like, it's set up different now, and so I was just like looking, and I was like, I don't see like the book type of books I'm looking for. And then I go around the corner and they have this whole little nook area that's like all sci-fi books, sci-fi fantasy books, and I was like, this is what I was looking for. And I was just in there, I was spent so much money. I was like, I want this one and this one. I'm like, maybe I should stop. I want this one. I felt like crazy. I walked up to the counter with this huge stack of books. I'm like, ugh. He was like, do you have any rewards with us? I'm like, I don't know. And I ended up having $7 in rewards. So
Ooh. Totally worth it. He's like, I'll give you some extra.
yeah,
Thank
he's
you.
like, can you afford this?
You're like, I can now. I have a
Yes,
job.
I have a job. That's what I did.
That's awesome.
I've been trying to read more. I don't read enough.
You have to find that book that like gets you back into it. You're
Yeah.
just
Mhm.
like immersed in it.
Yeah, I've been just trying to find, true crime
Yes.
stories, basically. Not true crime, but, crime stories.
Yeah,
Crime stories
well,
are
go
so
to Bright
good.
Light. They have a whole mystery thriller section that's big.
Okay.
So
I like audiobooks. Like that's my thing. Like I do enjoy reading. But ever since like I hit my head, I've had some issues like reading for long periods of time. So just audiobooks became really big. So I would find like really good ones. And I can't tell you how many ones I've listened to that I've just like the same kind of thing though. You get really immersed in it. And even though it's not you reading it yourself, you hear it and you get so involved and they're really good.
yeah, like
Especially Dan
I
Stevens.
don't know. Some people, I guess, just read and they just like see the words on the page. But like, I don't know. When I get really into a book, I don't even pay attention to the fact that I'm reading because I'm just imagining everything as I'm reading it.
That's so cool.
Do you ever like read a book and either you have to pause and try and imagine what they're wearing so you can like, okay, keep going. Or say they walk into their house and you imagine the house looking a certain way. And then you read the description of the house and you're like, hold on. And you have to like recalibrate everything in your head
Yes.
to match what was there.
And sometimes I just can't. I'm like, no, I already imagined it one way. That's the way it is.
That's how
Like
it's gonna
when
be.
you meet a character
Mhm.
and then later on they explain what they look like, I'm like, that's not what they look like to me.
Yeah, I was reading something and their neighbor is kind of this like flower child hippie, and I imagine like Zoe Kravitz. And they're like, her red hair. And I'm like, nope, Zoe Kravitz.
It's like with certain books, when I think of something that happened in the book, I think of what I imagined, like the scene as I imagined it. Especially with books like Harry Potter, Percy Jackson, I imagine when I think of something that happened in the book, I imagine the whole scene as I imagined the first time I read it.
Mhm.
Mhm.
So like if I reread Percy Jackson right now, I'd imagine it the same way because it's like ingrained in my head to see it that way.
How about you, Carrie? What's your second one?
Mine's kind of, I don't know if it's going to make sense. I wrote down non-busy, busy roads. So what I mean by that,
Apocalyptic, like
kind
the
of.
beginning of the pandemic thing.
Well, no, so like we've been going on a lot of walks lately. And so, I mean, I live in Altamont, right on Altamont Drive. Like it's always super, super busy. And it's just like loud honking and cars flying by. And then every once in a while, there's nothing. Just absolutely, you look left and right, there are 0 cars. And this is normally a very busy road. And I love that moment of just like, there's nothing there and it's just peaceful. And I always point it out. I'm like, look, stop. Listen, there's nothing. Because like, you can't hear any cars. It sounds like you are kind of in an apocalyptic world where there's just no one around you. And I love those moments. And then sometimes you see like a red light and you're like, oh, dang, it's coming. They're going to come. And then it starts back up again. And it only lasts for like 15 seconds. But I love those little moments.
It
So,
makes me think of the Me Without You lyric. There's a movement in our stillness.
Yes. And I keep finding myself like going back to those moments of like that peace and the busyness because I love that. Like next time you go on a walk, if you're on a busy road, just like notice when there's no cars. It's so nice.
That's cool.
I've been trying to go on a walk like every morning for like 30 minutes. And the streets that I walk on are pretty busy, like Park Avenue. And so I do notice that too, where it's like, oh, there's no cars driving by.
Yeah. There's like a
Nice.
like a shift, right? Where it just feels different for some reason. And it's kind of jarring at first. And you're like, oh, just there's nothing.
It makes me think of when we were on Mackinac Island, Aaron,
Mhm.
and we were walking through the wooded area, and it was completely silent. No, like, wild sounds of wildlife, no birds, nothing. Completely silent. We're just walking, and, like, you hear the horses walking and everything, and people walking around, and then suddenly, like, once you get in that area, it's, like, dead silent. And I was like, Aaron, do you hear that? She's like, what? I'm like, there's nothing. And she's like, what? Like, her, Bill, and I just stopped, and we're like, It's just silent.
They're it was a really surreal experience because there's this moment of we're going to be on a true crime podcast.
Yeah.
We will be
I was-
like the murders on Mackinac Island.
Yeah, I was like, this is it. Some crazy
Yeah,
monster's gonna
That's
come
too
out
good
of
of a
nowhere.
title.
Exactly.
Like these girls decided to go find a bridge in the middle of the woods at night.
That wasn't on Mackinac Island,
No,
but we did. What was the bridge called?
the bridge to hell.
Yes, the bridge to-
Dude, it's the craziest thing. Like, it's got like this metal bridge that is twisted and broken that leads to nowhere. You can't get to the other side safely of the little creek. And then like it's got somebody went in there and carved and painted this really weird skull into the tree, and then
But it
there's
looks
a
like it was
whole
burned
lore.
into it,
It looks like
too.
it was burned, yeah. And then like there's a whole lore about this guy who was like a child murderer that had killed a kid,
Oh wow.
and then like he ended up watching the town's children in this area and like killing a whole bunch of them. And there's like, this whole lore of this area, so it's like this
They
really
would like dump
creepy
them in the
forest.
creek or something.
Yes. It's a really interesting urban legend.
And you went to go find that bridge in the middle of the night
There was still
with no
daylight.
service.
It was some daylight. Yeah,
With
we
no
didn't
cell
expect
There was some.
service.
It was the
'Cause they
sun was
texted
setting,
me.
but
And I
Wow.
said, "Are you okay?" Hours later, they responded, like,
'Cause
"Oh, sorry,
Erin
we don't have
didn't give
service."
Context. She was just like, "This is our location in case you don't hear from us again."
Yes.
That's it.
That's
all
what she texted
said
me.
to Carrie.
And I was like calling Bill. I was so worried.
Oh my god.
I will
Yeah, and
say
then she forgot to text her back for like 3 hours.
I did. I'm sorry. We're like, oh yeah, we're alive. We're fine. There was something that it was a creepy woods. Like it felt like there was something in there following us. Like Elise is like, I don't feel this is weird.
Yeah, and the path was like not a full path, and we kept having to duck under tree branches
And
and
like
stuff.
climb,
And there
like
were,
literally
Tree
crawling.
branches that had like fallen, like big tree branches that had fallen to block the path, and there were like symbols carved into them. And I was
Wow.
like,
When you guys
Oh,
come and
God.
visit, we're gonna
Yeah.
go there.
That sounds like True Detective.
Yeah, it's a really interesting place.
yeah.
So yeah,
But also, Bill
silence.
was there, and I was like, no one's gonna try to murder us with Bill here, so we're fine.
That's
Do you
very
ever
true.
feel like there's like so many times when you should have died?
yes.
Like and you're in a dangerous situation. You're like,
Oh.
I probably would have died.
Mhm.
Thank
Or
the
like-
Lord I
or
survived.
like
You
even
look
silly.
back on something, and you're like, "Ooh, I should not have been there. I should not have done
Yep.
that."
It's like even sometimes like little things. Like I was not feeling good and I came home. Bill dropped me off before he went to the store, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take a quick shower to see if it helps. Well, then like trying to get into the shower, I fell. And like I landed on my hand. I just had surgery. I landed on my knee. My knee started like I cut it open. It's bleeding, and I'm like, if I had hit my head, like this could have
Yeah.
been it. You know, it's just like those moments of like something happens and you're fine, but then you realize like any other scenario you wouldn't have been. Like that's a weird, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've almost like slipped getting to the shower before, and I'm like, this is not how I want people to find me. Like, naked, like blood pouring out of my head in the tub. Like
This is how Elise
that's
became a never nude.
embarrassing.
I was wearing your cutoff jeans
Like-
just in case.
Like, please, if you find me like that, like dress me and make me look like I didn't die in such a stupid way.
Oh my-
Yeah. Okay.
I'll
I'll
put
do
on your
that.
tombstone. She slipped in the shower.
Don't do that to me.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
If you want Elise to
that's
haunt
great.
you, that's what she's gonna do.
Oh, yeah, I will haunt you.
That works. I'm gonna mention my second one. It's kind of silly, and I don't know why I picked it, but it's making me really happy right now. So I'm gonna tell you how I got it first. Quick story. I was at Five Below, which is where all good stories should begin. Is at Five Below, and we were there to pick up a cell phone cover because I had gotten my new phone, and I looked over the game section and I saw this game for $5, and I thought, huh. This is either gonna be really stupid or really fun, but it's $5. I'm gonna get it. It is Clue Guess Who.
Ooh.
So it's
That's
Clue
fun.
and Guess Who all together. So it's a 2-person game, and like it's super fun because like each person has the board, and you have your people, your weapons, and the locations, and then everyone you get the one card that is who you are. but you're not trying to find out who that person is. You're trying to find out what the murder weapon, the murder room, and the murderer, right? Just like Clue. So you have to ask questions in a different way. It's like once they say I don't know, you can look into this deck of cards, and when you look into it, you get a clue or an action that you can do, but they don't see it. So like I might have gotten like the knife wasn't the murder weapon, and the whole time they still think it's the knife because they don't have that information. And so then you just have to start asking questions about what they have while you're still trying to get into the deck and find out what's in there. So it's silly and it's fun, and it's probably one of the best versions of Clue I played in a long time. And yeah, I love this game right now. Like it's a 2-person game.
Anyone
There's
wanna
only 2
go
of us
Five
here.
Below?
I know.
It's so
Maybe I
fun.
love it.
Yeah, I highly recommend it if you guys can find it. Clue Guess Who is, I mean, we played like 8 rounds in a row, and we're laughing and having fun the whole time. Like it's great.
Have you ever noticed when you go to Five Below, the games that they have that they can't sell, like the name brand ones, so they give it a different name, like Tower Jumble instead of Jenga.
Oh yeah.
But, I think Sorry was My Bad. Yeah, you're just like, okay.
That's
You got it
hilarious.
for $5?
My bad.
But the game?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I
Five
see it
Below.
on eBay for $25.
Oh, dude, go to Five Below and see if they have it. If they
Yeah, I'll
don't,
pick
I
it
will go and I will pick you guys up one and send it to you because this game is so. Honestly, I'm like, the worst case scenario, it's not going to be any fun, and oh well, I spent $5, right?
Yeah.
Because I've done that on other games that were far more expensive. But yeah, it was a lot of fun, and it's definitely a game I think everybody would enjoy. So that's my number 2.
Ooh, one game that everyone should play if you have a Switch is Pikmin. I just recently got into it, and the best thing about Pikmin is that you have to collect fruits to live because you're like on this like deserted island.
Yes.
And at the end of the day, all of the fruit that you find, it does this little sequence where it juices the fruit and it just puts it into this little bottle. And then each fruit has a different color. And then sometimes if the bottle isn't full, it has to mix 2 different juices. And it is such a strange, like peaceful and relaxing thing to watch. I sent it to a coworker. I was like, this is so much fun to watch. And he's like, that's weird. And it was a 14-minute video, and he's like, I watched all of it. And he's like, I'm playing this game now.
It sounds like something I would have played on Armor Games when I was younger.
Oh yeah,
Like
it
the
does.
Papa games, like Papa's Pizzeria, Cupcakeria, Pancakeria, all those.
The Papas.
Yeah, I love the Papa's games.
We got in a huge conversation the other day at school about Cooking Mama. And how like it was like super fun for everyone to play, but then like super aggravating because like all of a sudden you'd be cooking perfectly and everything would burn.
Almost there.
Mom said something about like a chiffon cake and was explaining it. I'm like, I know what a chiffon cake is. I play Cooking Mama. And she was like, oh, okay, sorry.
Not quite. I love the commentary.
I know. She's so kind about it too. She's
Good
like, oh,
job.
too bad.
Cooking Mama.
Oh, that's fantastic. So, Bethany, what is your third one?
So my third one is I love trying new restaurants.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me happy.
Favorite restaurants in the area?
So I love, we went to Ravenous Pig. I mean, that's
Solid.
so solid.
I haven't been there.
Me neither.
Neither have I actually.
My brother worked there.
What? Yeah. But I mean, there's attached to that is Swine and Sons, which they have delicious sandwiches too. And I mean, there's so many.
There's a lot of good
There's
restaurants
so
in the
many good
area.
restaurants. I can't.
Orlando is like foodie central. People don't realize how great the food in Orlando is.
Yeah.
And like I was reading all these things like top 25, top 10. And Orlando consistently ranked in the top 10 and top 25 restaurants in the country, like where you can find restaurants. Like it was outbeating places that you would be surprised, like New York and things like that. Like it was coming below, like just behind like San Francisco or LA consistently.
Yeah.
And it's like, yeah, because it's amazing. It's such a melting pot. And
Yeah, it's definitely changed a lot over the years. I feel like a lot of like new places have opened up and different kinds of places. So it's really cool to see. And actually there was one year that we had some friends coming in from Virginia and they were like, "Oh, are there any like, yummy local restaurants that we can try out?" And my friend was like, "Oh no, all we have is chains, like Chili's."
What?
I was like,
I'm offended.
what? I was like, no, that is not accurate at all.
Have you been down
I'm
Colonial?
like,
Yeah,
yeah,
for real.
exactly. I was like, no, you don't listen to her.
oh my gosh, that's just the most offensive
Because when
thing
people
I've heard right now.
ask,
Yeah, we have
like,
good
where should
food.
I go? First, tell me a cuisine, because
Yeah.
that is a
Yeah.
broad question.
Yes.
I mean, like, worst case, if you don't know of any, like, local places, you can get into Disney for a minute, like, parking, and then you can go to any of, actually, I don't think it costs that much even to get into the hotels, and you can go to any of their restaurants, which have cuisines from all around the world that are phenomenal restaurants. I mean, like, you just go to the Polynesian Hotel, right? Like, you can go
Yeah.
there and, like, I mean, yes, Orlando and the food is just some of the best you'll ever get. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
Agreed.
when we went to Colorado, we had to like look for restaurants to go to. And it was hard sometimes. We're like, where are we gonna eat? But here it's just like there's so many options.
Oh, yeah.
It's hard to find food to eat here because it's just like everything sounds so good.
Oh, my gosh. Well,
Also, like, Orlando's coffee scene.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it.
we have a good coffee
Speaking
scene
of,
up
we
here,
need to
too.
find out update about Austin's.
Yes.
That
Well,
will go to the Capitol if they try to close Austin. They
oh, you messed
listen
with my
here.
Austin. Yeah, did you hear about that, Bethany?
I did.
Ugh.
It's crazy.
Austin's is a
That's sad.
staple.
So Austin's
Wow.
Coffee is literally one of the staple coffee shops in Orlando. It's incredible. Like if you're a college student or had been a college student in the last 16 years, you spent a lot of time at Austin's. They're open
Austin's
24
coffee
hours
for
a day.
college.
They have free Wi-Fi. They have incredible coffee, open mic nights and everything. And Winter Park is trying to buy the land and make it widen the road. So if you're from Orlando or Winter Park or anywhere in Florida, look it up and then do what you can do, because this is like sign petitions, get in touch with people, because having this place closed would be just a travesty. It is an institution.
There have been times, at 2, 3 in the morning, maybe even later, where I'm just studying for an exam and I go to Austin's because Austin's is always reliable. And they're so great there.
Yeah, they're so chill. It's like
Yeah,
our
really
go-to
cool.
place when we want late night coffee or something.
Also, their peanut butter pie, guys. Do they still have their peanut butter
Oh, the
pie?
peanut butter
I
pie.
haven't had
Have you
it.
had it,
I haven't tried
Bethany?
any of their food.
No.
The peanut butter pie is like 5 inches tall. It is thick and it is amazing.
And cream.
Acacia and I would always get a slice and share it. And
It's a thick boy.
it's a
It
thick
is. It's a thick boy.
It's
I
amazing.
have to try it.
And then they're like a good kind of sassy there. Like
Mhm.
Acacia will order her iced coffee with almond milk, and they're just like, "That's not milk." But then also their biggest like population of like customers are vegetarian or vegan. So
Mhm.
I'm just like, you guys are so sassy. I
Oh
love
my
it.
gosh. their
And it's
food
so
there is
funny
good.
because it's like this super college-y place. And then sometimes you just see like random old people walking in and they're like talking because they know the people, like they go there all the time. Like anyone can go to
You-
Austin.
yeah,
It
you
doesn't
go
matter.
there.
You just
You
no
see,
one's weird there. You're not like an outsider.
yeah, you see like the grungiest people there and like college students, but then also you see this couple who are clearly in like their 60s and their Sunday best just chilling. Like
Mhm.
everyone is welcome there.
It's a really cool place. If you haven't been there, you're from Orlando and you're listening to this, do what you can to save it and then also go, because it's a super cool place. So I know we're running short on time because we had some technical issues. So let's kind of see what everyone else has really quick, and then because I don't want to keep our guest star too late. So let's see, Carrie, go ahead and what's your third one?
Road trips. I love
Oh.
road trips. I love the feeling of being on the road and driving somewhere. I'm always happy. And then kind of tying in with that, I love, like I said, coffee shops. One thing I always do when I go to a new city, I go to a local coffee shop and I try to get a sticker if they have one. So if we're on the road and I need coffee, I love trying to like Google little places. But road trips just in general, they make me happy. I drove to Tallahassee this last week, and I just, even though there's nothing, just on I-95, I just love it. I love that freeing feeling of just being on the road.
I have a road trip for you. You get on I-75 and you take that north for about 19 hours. There's a few other roads to take. It's about 19 hours north. You get to go through a whole bunch of great states, really cool areas, and then you'll be in Grand Rapids once you hit another road that's somewhere in that direction as well.
Thank you for the directions.
And then,
I will figure. I have got it now.
And then you guys
Get on the
can
road.
here.
19
Drive
hours.
19 hours.
I'm there.
Okay, just keep
No
driving
matter which direction, just drive 19
North.
hours.
west slightly, and just until you hit Grand Rapids. If you hit Lake Michigan, you've gone too far.
Yeah, turn around.
Mm-hmm. They're my directions to get to Grand Rapids.
I'll be right
Ready,
there.
guys?
Thank
Let's
you.
go.
See you
We'll
guys
be
in
there
19 hours.
hours.
What about you, Elise?
Mine again is basic, but I picked music
Oh, yeah.
because I listen to music every day. Some people are like, oh, I don't really listen to music that much. Like, that's crazy to me. I listen to music every single day.
Mm-hmm.
And if I'm doing something that, like, I don't have to listen, like, I'm not watching a video or something, I'm listening to music while I'm doing it. Like, it's just, I don't know. I just love listening. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, I'm always downloading music like crazy. I have so much music downloaded on my phone.
No, that's really important though. It's also a key part of who you are. So it's not silly. It's a good thing. Like I think one of the hard things about COVID has been not going to concerts. But like I've been really impressed.
Last year.
Oh yeah, me without you. Let's not.
They were gonna come 3 times. We only got to come once.
And yeah, it's just really, it's cool though that the bands have been doing a lot of online shows. Like Bethany, you just watched Switchfoot, right?
Yeah.
I was so jealous. I didn't know about it until I saw you like watching it. I was like, oh, Switchfoot.
Yes.
That brings me
So
back.
good. And I watched Amberlin's recently too.
Oh, I missed that one. I've seen one of Amberlin's, but I didn't see the last ones. I watched their Blueprints of the Black Market show.
Yes.
Aaron was very happy because Blueprints is like my show. I followed them before they were cool, No, I'm just kidding. No, seriously, I have seen Amberlin over 100 times.
That's insane.
Yeah.
If they had a show,
3 times.
Yeah, if they were in Orlando, I was at their show. I actually had a set dedicated to me once, and a shout out from a song like they did. I was having a really bad day. And they're like, "What do you want to hear?" I'm like, "I'd like to hear this."
This
kind
song
of
is
stuff.
called
They're like,
Restraining Order.
Restraining.
They're like, "We're going to dedicate this to our fan who was here last night and tonight. Thanks." And then she's right there, and I'm like, "That's me." That was really cool.
It's like the bear
Amazing.
costume person who follows 5 Iron.
That would have been me. No.
That was me with Family Force 5.
Oh my gosh, I forgot about them.
Yeah.
I saw them like twice,
That
I think.
happened.
that happened.
No. I love them. I saw them, I think it was like 8 times in 1 year or something crazy.
Wow, that's awesome. I only did I see
friends with the drummer Crouton.
Crouton.
Normally, I'm like, I don't want people near me. Like, I want my space. I don't want sweaty people touching me, especially. But at concert, it's just like part of the vibe. You're like, I don't care. There are 10 sweaty people around me randomly hitting me, and it's just
You're like,
part
yeah,
of the
this is it.
experience. I'm like, I'm here for this.
You're an adult when you go to a show and people are sitting on the ground more, leaning against each other, or going, "Oh my god, my feet hurt. How much longer before they come out?"
My feet always hurt through the bands I'm not there to see.
And
Once
then
the band
the
I come
band
to
start,
see,
you're like,
all the pain goes away, and I'm great. And then after that, I'm like, wow, I'm tired.
The last show I went to was Dashboard Confessional, and that was in Detroit. And the fun thing about that one was we walked around Detroit for hours beforehand, and then we get to the show, and then we're standing, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm like, I can't I can't do this. Dashboard comes out, and I'm like, I'm done. I feel great.
The
I'm ready
pain's
for
gone.
this. Like this. Let's go, Chris Carrabba,
That
guys.
magical feeling.
Oh my
Last
gosh.
concert I went to was Thrice and Me Without You.
Oh, that's a good one.
It
So
was
good.
so good. Except for the dude in front of me chucked his full beer at Me Without You. I was like, oh,
The disrespect.
no. And security escorted him and everyone with him out. Dude
Good.
was like trying to fight, and Kyle like pushes me behind him because he's like right in front of me, and he like dumps ice everywhere, and they're like fighting. And security is like, no, they're like, we're gonna do this the easy way, or we're gonna do this the hard way where we drag you out of here. I was like, yeah, get him.
That's so good.
I once went to an Eric Hutchinson concert. I think it was at the Beecham, and he played like literally every song he'd ever written. It was his set alone was almost 2 hours, and it was incredible.
I had that with
He
Arctic
was
Monkeys.
like, I left my label, and I can do whatever I want.
Arctic Monkeys did that when I saw them. Like they came. I mean, they flew up from the UK, and they're like, "Hey guys, we're gonna play all our songs for you." And they played everything, and at the end, like, "You guys want to hear anything else again?" No, we'll do a couple requests. And I was like, "Oh my god, Arctic Monkeys!" So, like, that was one of the greatest shows I've ever seen. They were just like so into the fans, and they like that's what they cared about was making sure, like, hey, they're like, we flew to Orlando from the UK. We're here to like have a great time. Like
Yeah.
Arctic Monkeys.
The first time I've seen Eric Hutchinson twice. The first time was when we drove to Savannah to go see John Mulaney.
At least you're just like, no.
And
Because this time, Carrie goes back, she's like, yeah, and this guy opened is Eric Hutchinson. I'm like, Eric Hutchinson opened? And
I
she's like,
never
you heard
heard
of
of
him? And I'm like,
we drove like 4 hours to go see John Mulaney. Briefly saw Chris Evans in
oh
Savannah.
yeah.
Not
He was like at a pizza shop, and we walked in when he was leaving. But then like we were there the whole day, and we left Orlando, and it was 90 degrees. When we got to Savannah, we expected it's not that far from Orlando. It was like 40 and raining, so we were freezing. We went to a thrift shop to buy some like coats. We were exhausted. The like show didn't start till 10, and we were driving home that night because we all had to work the next day. And this guy comes out with the guitar, and we're like, oh my gosh, we had to sit through a concert with this guy we've never even like heard of before. He starts playing, and we're like, this is the greatest thing. He is amazing. And then we started following after that. And Elise is still mad at me.
Yep.
I'm just mad she saw John Mulaney twice and didn't invite us to
I
either time.
know. I've never seen John Mulaney.
Once was at Hard Rock in Orlando.
Okay.
You guys,
You didn't invite me.
I didn't. No. But I went. Yeah. He says bad words, and you were little at the time.
Oh my god.
Well, sisters, thank you so much for this great conversation. And Bethany, thank you for being our amazing guest star today. We really would love to have you back on the show, and we can
Yeah.
talk about a
Thank
whole bunch
you
of other
so
stuff.
much for having me. What a pleasure and a blessing.
You sound so sarcastic.
What a
This was
pleasure.
a great
Thanks,
pleasure.
guys.
She's like, I will never do this again, guys.
No,
Please let me go.
let me in.
To me.
I want to be a sister and a Hey Girl Hey cast member.
Well, I mean, yes. You
Just
already
send,
are
like,
a sister.
Photoshops
So.
of you like added to the like our podcast
Plus
cover.
Bethany now.
Plus Bethany. Oh,
Hey, Girl, Hey,
with,
and
with Bethany.
And Bethany.
Hey, with is actually the highest like you can get for billing. So I mean, pretty good.
All right.
But we really appreciate you coming
Well,
on. Thank you.
Thank you for
Yes.
being our first guest during our cocktail hour, and I can't wait to have you back on and to continue this like cocktail hour conversations.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
We'll talk more about cheese.
Yes.
Yes. Oh, can we have a whole episode on cheese, guys? Like,
Omelette.
I gotta talk about Borson
Gosh.
right now. Like, I gotta talk about Borson.
Oh yeah.
Ooh,
Right.
live that Borson life.
Mm, I won't go there, but we're gonna leave a cliffhanger for Borson cheese. People are like, oh,
Come back
we're
later
no
for
longer
Borson
listening.
Welcome.
This is why you come to us for cheese.
Welcome to Hey Girl Hey, the podcast where we talk about cheese.
We talk about literally any cheese.
Any cheese. All cheese.
Oh man,
The
that's
cheese.
great. The cheese.
Cheese.
All right, Elise.
Oh, me?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you guys for listening, and thank you to Tiger Weather for the use of their song Cassandra as our intro and outro of the podcast. Oh, their song.
Yep.
Oh my gosh, I
It's
always
not
do that.
Cassandra.
Gold in the Lining off of the album Cassandra. Also, the song Cassandra is a really good song too, so listen to that one. But yes, the song's Gold in the Lining. The album is Cassandra, and Tiger Weather's amazing, and I always mess this up. Next.
Thank you to Kyle for being our wonderful producer who set up so we could have 3 people recording at once.
Yes,
And
thank you.
really appreciate everything you do, Kyle. You invest a lot of time and money and support and encouragement into this, and we couldn't do without you.
No, thank you so much, Kyle. Also, we want to make sure you guys know where you can find us. So if you have topic suggestions, if you want to even maybe be on Cocktail Hour with us, email us at HeygirlHeycast@gmail.com. We'd love to get to know more people. And then also you can find us on Instagram and YouTube at HeygirlHeycast. Also, our podcast is now on iTunes, so please go like and not like and subscribe, but go give us a rating and give us a stars. Like that really helps push our podcast up in the algorithm. And then also we're on Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio. And I think those are the only ones. We're waiting to hear back from Amazon. So you can find us pretty much anywhere now. So it's HeygirlHeycast@gmail.com and HeygirlHeycast on YouTube and Instagram. So come say hi. We'd love to start getting to know more people. Thanks for listening. And
Wait, we usually. Okay.
What?
Yeah, this is the worst one yet.
Okay, no, it's good. 3, 2, 1.
Thanks for listening to
Hey, Aaron.
I forgot which one we were saying.
It's like,
Deuces.
welcome to Hey. Oh wait.
Yep. Thanks, guys.